Hello everyone. What if I told you that just 1 hour a day, 60 minutes, could change your entire life? Would you believe me? Most people wouldn't, because they've been fed a lie. They think transformation takes a miracle, that success demands 20-hour days, good genes, or dumb luck. But here's the truth. It doesn't. It starts with 1 hour. One focused hour. 1 hour where you stop watching others live and start building your own. See, the world is busy, but busy isn't the same as growing. People scroll, they rush, they repeat, but they rarely stop. And because they don't stop, they don't think. And if you don't think, you don't change. But you, if you're still here, you're different. You're searching. You're ready. And today, we're talking about the single hour that can reshape your habits, your income, your relationships, even your legacy. Because success is never an accident. It's a choice you make daily. And the best part? You don't need a new year. You don't need permission. You don't need a break. All you need is 1 hour. Let's begin. Take back the first hour. Here's something powerful. How you start your day is how you live your life. That first hour is not just a routine, it's a launch pad. But most people give it away without thinking. They wake up and dive into the noise. Messages, notifications, other people's agendas. But here's what they don't check. Themselves. They don't ask, what do I want today? What am I building? Who am I becoming? And if you don't take control of that first hour, the world will do it for you. And trust me, the world doesn't always have your best in mind. It'll feed you chaos, fear, distraction. And suddenly, your day is in reaction mode, not creation mode. So here's the challenge. Take it back. Wake up a little earlier. Not because it's trendy, but because it's transformational. Read 10 pages of something that sharpens you. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Move your body. Drink water. Sit in silence. Visualize your goals. Do the things the old you always said there wasn't time for. Because here's the truth. Win the first hour and you win the day. Win enough days and you win your life. And if you're thinking, but I'm not a morning person, let me tell you, success doesn't care. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Winners don't rely on motivation, they rely on habit. So tomorrow, make a deal with yourself. Before you touch the world, touch your future. Use the first hour to create, not consume. Don't just wake up. Rise up. Because your future isn't waiting at 11 a.m. It's waiting at 6. Guard the hour like treasure. Now that you've claimed that first hour, you need to protect it like it's gold. Because people will try to steal it. Not with force, but with a ping, a favor, a quick thing. And just like that, your power hour is gone. Here's the truth. That hour is not free time. It's not casual. It's sacred. It's strategic. And if you don't protect it, nobody else will. So put up a fence. Set the boundary. No calls. No emails. No scrolling. No distractions. Not because you're rude, but because you're serious. You see, time is more valuable than money. You can earn another $1, but you'll never get that hour back. And that hour, if used right, it will pay you back 100-fold. In clarity, in confidence, in skills, in results. But not if you trade it for crumbs. So here's the rule. If it doesn't grow you, it doesn't get your hour. Period. This isn't just productivity. This is priority. It's saying, my future matters enough to defend it. So schedule your hour. Label it. Lock it in. And if people don't respect it, teach them how, not with arguments, but with consistency. Because when you value your time, the world learns to value you. Direction before action. One last thing. It's not just about showing up. It's about showing up with purpose. Too many people are busy, but going nowhere. They run, grind, hustle, but they're stuck. Why? Because they're active without direction. Action without clarity is like running on a treadmill. You sweat, but you stay in place. So here's what to do. At the start of your hour, take 3 minutes, just 3, and ask, what am I building? What's the goal today? What's the skill I'm sharpening? And why does it matter? Write it down. Don't just think it. Put it on paper. Because clarity on paper becomes action in life. As Jim Rohn said, reasons come first, answers come second. So get your reasons right, and the results will follow. But if you skip this step, you'll waste your energy. You'll feel productive but stay stuck. You'll confuse movement with meaning. So don't just move. Move with direction. Why direction beats speed? Let me ask you something. What good is moving fast if you're headed the wrong way? Speed without direction is just chaos with momentum. So pause, breathe, think. Take the time to aim your life like an archer draws their bow. Because a man with direction, he may walk slower, but he gets further. So tomorrow morning, don't just jump into the day. Decide. Decide who you want to become. Decide what matters most. Decide what move brings you closer to the life you keep visualizing. Direction turns an hour into a mission. And when your life runs on mission, every step starts to mean something. That's when the real change begins. Learn for an hour, grow for a lifetime. Here's one of life's simplest truths. Success isn't about doing more. It's about learning better. The moment you stop learning, you start slowing down. But the good news? Learning doesn't require a classroom or a tuition bill. All it takes is one focused hour a day, your edge, your secret weapon. While others binge distraction, you binge development. While they scroll, you grow. And over time, those small daily wins stack into unstoppable momentum. Jim Rohn said, "Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune." So what should you study? Books that stretch your thinking. Biographies that show what's possible. Podcasts that sharpen your mindset. Lessons on health, wealth, communication, whatever moves the needle. Because here's the math. 1 hour a day equals 365 hours a year. That's over 9 full work weeks. 9 weeks of pure self-investment. Do that for a year and watch your confidence skyrocket. Watch your language change. Watch your life transform. But don't just learn. Apply it. That's where the real growth lives. 1 hour of practice beats 10 hours of theory. Let's get one thing straight. Knowledge is potential. Action is power. You can read every book, watch every video, quote every guru, but if you never use it, you're just consuming. You're not creating. The real shift happens when you move from theory to practice. When you stop preparing and start doing. And here's the kicker. You don't need to feel ready. Confidence doesn't show up before the action. It shows up because of the action. Write even when it's messy. Speak even when your voice shakes. Build the thing, pitch the idea, make the call. Just start. Because every time you show up, you level up. That 1 hour of imperfect, bold practice, it beats 10 hours of passive consumption every single time. Reflect, refine, repeat. Here's what most people miss. Growth doesn't come from just moving forward. It comes from stopping long enough to ask, how did I do today? Jim Rohn said, a life worth living is a life worth recording. And I'll add, a life worth recording is a life worth refining. So here's your power move. At the end of your hour, take 5 minutes. Just 5. Reflect. What did I learn? What did I build? What needs work? What gets better tomorrow? Because reflection creates clarity. Clarity fuels improvement. And improvement, that's your superpower. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to adjust the sails, one small, smart tweak at a time. Remember, planes are off course 90% of the time, but they still land right where they're supposed to. Why? They constantly correct. They reflect. They refine. They repeat. And so should you, who learns from evaluated experience. They grow fast. They grow strong. They grow wise. So don't just live your life. Examine it, shape it, elevate it, reflect, refine, repeat. That's how you go from ordinary to exceptional. 1 hour of health a day keeps the doctor away. Let me tell you something most people forget. Your body isn't just a vehicle. It's the engine of your life. And if the engine fails, it doesn't matter how big your dreams are, how clear your goals are, or how much money is in your account. Because when your health breaks down, everything slows down. The body and mind are connected. You can't think straight when you're tired. You can't lead when you're weak. You can't build when you're burned out. So what do? We invest 1 hour a day in the most important machine you'll ever own, your body. Now, I'm not saying you need to be a bodybuilder. I'm not saying you need to run marathons. But you need to move. You need to breathe. You need to stretch. You need to sweat. Because when you honor your health, you elevate your energy. And when your energy rises, your results rise with it. Let me say that again. Energy is the fuel for achievement. Want more focus? Move. Want more drive? Sweat. Want more peace? Breathe deeply. And here's the good news. It doesn't take all day. 1 focused hour. That's it. Walk in the morning. Stretch your body. Do some yoga. Lift some weights. Or just step outside and feel the sun on your face and the air in your lungs. Here's a gym rat truth. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. But let me give you a warning. Neglect is quiet. At first, it's just a few skipped workouts, a few too many processed meals, a few extra hours in that chair. Then one day, the bill shows up in the form of pain, fatigue, or a missed opportunity you weren't strong enough to grab. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. So protect the hour. Use it to build your strength, not just your skills. Because you can't give your best if you're running on empty. You can't lead others if you can't lift yourself. And you can't live your purpose if you're always managing pain. Treat your health like your future depends on it, because it does. 1 hour a day. To walk, to stretch, to fuel, to rest. To keep the doctor away. And success close by. Build a fortune in the quiet hour. Let me tell you something important. Profits are better than wages. Wages make a living. Profits build a fortune. And to build profits, you don't need 10 hours a day. You don't need a team. You don't need permission. You need 1 hour. 1 quiet hour. Most people get home and shut down. They say, "I've done enough." Then they sit, scroll, binge, and wonder why nothing changes. But that quiet hour after dinner, that's your chance. That's your space to build something that's yours. Not for your boss, not for your paycheck, for your future. In that hour, you can start your side business. You can write. You can plan. You can build. You don't need perfect. You just need hunger. And 1 sacred hour. Let me be real. The results won't come overnight. But that's not the goal. The goal is momentum. 1 hour a day. 5 hours a week. 260 hours a year. That's not small. That's massive. That's a product launched. A brand started. A future created. But only if you treat the hour like treasure. Not as time to waste, but time to build. You don't build wealth with wishes. You build it with work. Quiet, focused, consistent work. When no one's watching. And here's the best part. Do that long enough, and one day you'll realize that little hour built your confidence, built your income, built your independence. And it started with 1 decision. To stop wasting the quiet hour and start using it to build your fortune. Relationships, built 1 hour at a time. Now let's talk about something most success books leave out. Relationships. Because what good is a fortune, a strong body, a sharp mind, a full bank account, if you have no one to share it with? Success without connection is empty. You don't build a great life by only building businesses. You build a great life by building people. And that takes time, takes care, takes presence. But here's the truth. Just like wealth is built in quiet hours, relationships are too. 1 hour of real conversation. 1 hour of listening, not just hearing. 1 hour of putting the phone down and looking someone in the eyes. People don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. And they feel it when you give them time. I'm not asking for 10 hours a week. I'm not asking you to be a therapist. I'm asking you to be present. Give someone you love 1 full hour. Your spouse, your child, your parent, your mentor, your friend. Don't just sit in the same room. Be there. Ask questions. Share stories. Laugh. Or just sit in silence together. Because presence is powerful. And when you do this, trust grows, walls fall, love multiplies, connection deepens. It doesn't take a fancy dinner or a big trip. It takes 1 hour of your heart, with no distractions. Here's what I've learned. The people who build great relationships, they always win in the long run. Because when the storms come, and they will, money won't hold your hand, success won't hug you, but relationships will. So schedule that hour, protect it, be intentional. Because if you don't invest in people, you may wake up surrounded by things, but feeling completely alone. A rich life is measured in memories, not just milestones. And memories are made in moments. Moments that begin with just 1 hour. So the next time you think about success, remember this. Don't just build your future. Build your people. And do it 1 hour at a time. Stack your hours. Stack your future. You've heard it before. Success is built one step at a time. But let me say it differently. Success is built 1 hour at a time. 1 hour of discipline. 1 hour of learning. 1 hour of building. 1 hour invested in your mind, your body, your future. Here's where most people go wrong. They underestimate the power of a single focused hour. They say, it's just an hour. What difference can it make? So let's do the math. 1 hour a day is 7 hours a week. That's over 300 hours a year. That's the equivalent of 7 full-time work weeks. Now ask yourself, what could you build with 7 full-time weeks? You could write a book, learn a high-income skill, launch a business, transform your body, rewire your mindset, or completely change the direction of your life. But you don't do it by rushing. You do it by stacking the hours, brick by brick, quiet, steady, relentless. That's how a future is built. Not in one dramatic leap, but in consistent, intentional effort. And here's the truth. Small disciplines don't stay small. They compound. They evolve. They shape who you become. Every hour you show up, you're casting a vote for your future. You're saying, I'm not waiting for a breakthrough. I'm building one. And that daily decision creates momentum, creates clarity, creates transformation. When you add up the hours, you build progress. And when you build progress, you change your identity. You go from someone who delays to someone who delivers. Now let's be real. Some days you'll miss. That's okay. You're human. But never let a missed hour turn into a missed week or a missed year. Come back. Recommit. Keep stacking. Because time will pass either way. The only question is, will you have something to show for it? One day, the question won't be, did you have big dreams? It'll be, did you use your hours wisely? So protect them, stack them, build something with them. Because when 1 hour turns into a new you, everything changes. When 1 hour becomes the turning point, it all started with just 1 hour. 1 hour of focus, 1 hour of action, 1 hour of reflection, 1 hour for your health, 1 hour for your future. At first, it didn't feel like much. Felt small, quiet, invisible. But something was happening. You were changing. Not overnight, not by accident, but by decision. Because real change doesn't come from inspiration alone. It comes from what you do after the inspiration fades. Every hour you showed up, when it was inconvenient, when it was hard, you built something deeper than results. You built trust with yourself. You rebuilt your self-respect. You redefined what's possible. That's how real transformation works. Not by doing everything at once, but by changing how you use 1 hour. Because if you can master 1 hour, you can master your day. And if you can master your day, you can shape your life. So let me leave you with this. Success is not luck. It's not magic. It's not waiting for the right time. It's discipline applied daily. And here's the best part. It doesn't take everything you've got. It just takes 1 focused hour. 1 hour where you show up. 1 hour where you stop waiting and start building. 1 hour where you say, this matters. I matter. My future matters. Because eventually that 1 hour turns into a new version of you. A version who shows up, who follows through, who lives on purpose. So protect the hour. Honor the hour. Because it's not just about how you spend your time. It's It's about how you shape your life. Don't wait for tomorrow, decide today. Now you've heard it all. The habits, the hours, the truth. So what's next? Start today. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the right mood. Don't wait for next week or next year. That's a trap. Pick an hour. Claim it. Protect it. Like your future depends on it, because it does. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing. Willing to show up. Willing to grow. Willing to build. Remember this. Change doesn't happen when you know what to do. Change happens when you do what you know. So don't walk away from this just feeling inspired. Walk away activated. Decide, today, what hour will you take back? What will you build? Who will you become? Because if you give 1 hour a day to growth, to purpose, to health, to relationships, to your vision, 1 year from now, you won't recognize your life. 1 hour, one decision, one new you. Let that be your story.